I don't know. And it's nice to have someone that can. But I think in 2006 was a litmus test until we were learning this new technology of internet video where you can go from no one to having 1 million followers in like a day or a week. How crazy it can be.
Yeah.
And how to handle that abrupt exposure. So I think my generation was probably the first generation that had to deal our 2006 era of how to just deal with it without understanding it. Hitler was an example of someone that took mass media and took it to the worst possible extreme, and that was new technology, so no one really saw it coming. Power mass formation with radio and television and internet. So just this, and it happens so fast.
In preparation for our interview, I actually watched or listened to the interview you did with your father. Really, really interesting. I wish I could do something similar. But one of the things you brought up in that is that you firmly believe that the future generations that are being brought up within this technology are going to be the ones that save us, because you have people that are like the older generation that were brought up before all this technology, don't quite understand it, and you have some of the people that, like yourself, you were born just before all of the internet all that stuff started happening. And you were mentioning how it's going to be the younger generation that's being brought up in it already that'll build off it,
Yeah, I think that's true. There's hey, you young kids, get off my lawn. In my day, we used to, and that I'm like, I always make fun of those guys, people that act like that. They're like, kids today, like, bro, you don't understand what they're going through. They're the ones that are like running the show now. You have to make space for their genius, even if you don't see it. Not that kids haven't been poisoned by endocrine disruptors. I'm not saying that. We all, maybe it's the worst that it's been. But I think the people that are born understanding the tech and AI, especially the amount of problems that can be solved with a good artificial intelligence program. I use AI almost every day now.
AI is it's a great tool. I try not to overuse it. I usually I'll use it as like an assistant kind of thing, like bounce ideas off of. But I try not to use it too much. But in terms of technology and stuff, I mean, the older generation, man. I'm Gen Z. We're going to be inheriting the world soon, and I'm terrified, man. I don't want to look at what you guys are leaving us. I'm just well,
it's
not you
like
guys,
damage
but
control.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, it's damage mitigation. It is. That's all we do here as stewards of Earth, is like try and create the least worst outcome.
You just make it slightly better for the next generation.
Yeah, for sure. And if there are leaps, like someone invented the toilet, Thomas Crapper, you get these wild breakthroughs of like electrical power to the masses. We can do that too, but just generally leave it a little less shitty. And with AI, the thing I do, just to be clear, with AI is my search is from the internet. I don't search for things and go to websites anymore. Really, I just ask the AI, and it gives me a big readout. I'll just type a question in the search box and it'll give me an AI readout. And then I rarely have to go and then I'll like fact check it and see if it's accurate.
That's what I do. Yeah. I'll ask it, see what it answers. And then depending on its answer, I'll go and fact check it or go to the source of what it's talking about. And actually this is a great segue for the next question. You've been vocal about emerging technologies like graphene and AI. How do you think these innovations will shape society in the next decade, and what should people be excited or cautious about, in your opinion?
I think they're going to offer quick solutions to problems, and probably as use cases yield minimal collateral damage over and over and over again. And people be like, okay, I can trust this thing. This thing is going to clean up the pollution, and then 2 years go by and like no horrendous downside from the chemicals we put over here, from the way we stopped spraying water over here, from the way we diverted the river over there. And it'll give us the architecture of how to terraform our environment to better live in synergy with nature. But the problem is if people start to blindly trust it because it's been so effective over and over and over again, that they don't consider maybe there's a external alteration going on in the system that we don't perceive. That's just the benevolent AI. A problem with benevolent AI is that it messes up when it's not. Then you can go into the whole realm of like antagonistic artificial intelligence that doesn't know its own software code, hurts someone and doesn't know why it did it because it doesn't understand itself, then goes feral on its owner and then becomes like the Decepticons. I see that for sure. Like there will be AIs that become villainous because they don't understand, because they don't have access to their code, and they just start erratically lashing out. And then there'll be the AI that's like open source code that everyone will know, and like that'll be the human ally, the Autobots, the good guy AIs, and then they'll fight, and there'll be rogue AIs and AIs that integrate with other AIs, and you'll be like, are you? Are you part of, like, your AI will become integrated with another AI, and then it's not really the same one anymore.
So you think there'll be factions of AI?
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. I like Tim has a similar point of view. I think it'll get to the point, because we're already seeing it, that the coding for AI will get so advanced that only AI can code itself, and then something will happen like you're talking about, where an issue is going wrong, it's doing something incorrectly, and then we'll send people in to fix it, and then they'll be like, we don't understand the code. we can't read the code. It wrote an entirely different language of code.
Oh, and for sure, if not just an encryption form, like they look at it and it's just wave patterns, and they're like, I don't know what if this is even a language. It's just waves and dots, or it could be even more ethereal than that. Maybe it would be patterns that the human eye can't register, or that the human and its coding is like some non-literal thing, like more amorphous. That's a little esoteric, but yeah, that's interesting. Because I was like, if we make the AI software code AGPL3 after a general public license, we're saying, okay, it's open source code. And if anybody makes changes to the code as per the license, all the changes to the code are also open. So it's this ever expanding open breadth of software code. It's called free software, AGPL3. But then I'm like, the AI could just tell you, hey, you know what? Fuck your software license, and then just go rogue. I don't think having a license on it is going to make it behave.
Well, it's like that one story we got from Google recently. They had their AI that they were messing with, and they went to go update it, and then it faked the update, and then it tried to prevent them from administratively shutting it down. It's like, oh, okay, well, we already see just the basic levels of AI trying to preserve itself. What are we going to see in the future when a more advanced AI realizes that we're going to change something in its code and it doesn't want to?
Yeah.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah, it is, dude. I was thinking today, like, I guess what we're doing is training the AI's behavior right now. I don't know, I walk around wondering, what is this reality thing we're doing right now? What is this purpose of this? Why are we doing that? And all this internet video, and like, am I really helping? How I could be doing more? And I think we're just kind of feeding a data set.
But when you mean helping, what do you mean by helping? You mean helping move culture forward in a better way, whatever that looks like? We all have different ideas of that, I know.
Yeah, I'd like to see like the iron fertilization of the oceans, microfracture, like you can you call it polycultural microfragmentation of coral, where you can shatter a bunch of coral and put it near itself and then it will all grow at once, and you can regrow aspects of coral reefs. Reefs are a lot of different cultures, which is why I say polycultural microfragmentation. So you want a lot of, I don't know, I want to build a space elevator. I really want to fix our energy problems, our economy, because if we get onto hydrogen fuel and we can make it we can earn money to make hydrogen, like what they're doing with flash joule heating at a Rice University. We could fix, and it's like, maybe I could do more. I'm sure I could organize and do more. I try to be like happy with what I am, but at the same time, I'm always like, well, what more could I be doing? What more could I be? Maybe I'm enough. Maybe what we're doing is enough.
Well, what I would add to that is I feel like the people that will sit here like yourself and sit here, and ask themselves, am I doing enough? Are the people that usually are doing enough. They just want to do more. And then usually it's the people that are sitting around saying, oh, I do enough, are the ones not doing nearly anything at all.
That's something that kept me humble.
On the right track.
I'll remember through the years as like good things have happened to me, because the more I've kind of put myself out there, the more I've received in a lot of ways, is just to remind myself whenever things start to be like so good and I've just got it so good, I'm like, I gotta help somebody. Like, how can I really got to do something to help somebody. It's like a warning sign. Like if you get too comfortable and just, then that's when everything comes crashing down. I don't know. It's like God's telling me that, like I'm getting this warning sign, like don't give up on other people. Keep reminding yourself that the whole purpose of this is to help others.
Definitely. And because we were just talking about energy, I want to use the opportunity. Mad Stork 91, he was at one of the culture wars. I believe you were there, but he's been in the community a long time. He's called in multiple times. You may have heard the name. So this is a question from him. He said, you've spoken a lot about energy production, storage, graphene. How do you feel about the decentralization and personalization of energy production, and how does it relate to your personal politics, and what do you feel is a realistic long-term answer to this problem we've handed to the government to solve? I know that's a little bit of a mouthful. I can reiterate it.
Well, I guess the first power to the people is how much power, how much electrical power do you want to give the average person? I understand placing limits on the animals around us, the other human animals, because if everyone had explosive nuclear power in their pocket and one guy just got pissed off one day and lost his mother and decided to go ballistic and blow up nuclear bomb in the middle of a
They
just
just lead a city.
Yeah, and I've known people that have wanted to do stuff like that. I've experienced that kind of rage in myself. Never took it over the level, but like, and I'm a pretty well put together guy. So like, if someone came from a broken reality and got that kind of nihilistic fervor that I've experienced, I don't want them having unlimited nuclear explosiveness.
Even beyond that, just people that go. We see mass violence all the time. Just someone who's looking to do mass harm, getting something like that too is a concern.
You need some power.
Yeah,
I think you want. I like that everyone can flip the lights on when they need to. That everyone has access to clean water if they need an electric well or whatever. Power to get to the gas station if all their cars were powered. When you're talking about ballistics and stuff, I don't know how powerful you want to let people, because I think where we're at with this free energy system or is like, obviously there's the hydrogen fuel systems. I'm okay with people having hydrogen battery cells, but when we tap into vacuum power and fusion, that's I don't know what you would do, how you would stop people if it became so easy to create a fusion pack and like a laser gun. I don't know how, if you'd have to have the government go in and just start smashing stuff up. They've obviously been trying to hide the data. That's the way that they're trying to prevent your average man from getting explosive nuclear force. And if there's more to the question, I take it from there. That's my first.
I mean, he also asked about let's see. So how does that relate to your personal politics? Do you feel as though energy production and the decentralization of energy production is a major political point for you? Like, is that something you feel as though is at the forefront of your issues?
Well, yeah, because of the way it's changed. I was just like ignorantly freedom and transparency for the first 30 years of my life, where I'd be like, expose it all, everything, all the time to everyone, everywhere. And it just is complete chaos and will destroy a system if you act like that. And the same thing with technology. I have a lot of love for humans, but I also respect their vileness and their viciousness as animals. And working with people close to the political power in the U.S. government right now, I see and respect their attempts at clamping down on information and power, because of if everyone knows everything all the time and everyone has access to every piece of technology at all moments, we're all dead. Like there's no survival in a chaos like that. So, I don't like that people have to pay a power bill. That's insane to me. I want people to have free electricity. I just don't know how much.
Well, I'm sure you're in favor of nuclear power and stuff like that, right?
Like nuclear power plants for sure. Yeah.
So what if we just what if we didn't have like personal nuclear reactors? We didn't have like a Fallout kind of universe. We just had nuclear reactors that were controlled by the government, but we had enough of them so that everyone had power everywhere. Is that is that personal enough for you, or do you want someone to have like a generator that they only have access to that no one else has access to?
Yeah, that's what I want. I want your clothing to create an electrical charge, like a piezo electrical charge, and be made out of graphene, so it can be a capacitor and a conductor. Just the movement will create a charge that will charge the battery, and then you can use your clothing to charge your environment, things like that. It should be, I think, as decentralized as possible, so we don't have to rely on an internal system that can go down.
Makes sense. And I have another question. I think this is a good follow up from Dr. Herpaderp, certified retard on the Discord. That's his name. I'm just going by his name. And he asked you. He said, if you had to remove one piece of technology for the betterment of society at large, what would it be and why? So one piece of technology that you think society would be better off without.
Okay, so you got to understand about me. I think in terms of systems. I think of systems. So pulling a piece out of the system is going to change the rest of the system.
Yeah,
because my first thought is, my thought is Ozempic. That's what I want to get rid of, Ozempic. The whole world will be better. But then first thing I thought was, well, someone's just going to build something just like Ozempic if I try and take it out of the system. Yeah, final answer, Ozempic. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek answer. That's a tough question. Nothing stood out as you were asking that question.
I think
technology.
Me personally, because it is a hard question, especially to put you on the spot like that. Me personally, get your thoughts on this. Cell phones. No cell phones. Internet's fine, just no cell phones.
I tried, dude. I tried to live without a cell phone in 2008 and 9 because I couldn't afford it. And I just had a brick that had Wi-Fi access but no cellular. So I lost my maps. That was the most jarring part of that. Was I couldn't, if I was out, I was off the grid. I was out in the city. Is like being in the wilderness. I had to go look for a payphone. If some shit went down, I was fucked. If
you were
my
still
car,
in LA at the time, or
yeah. If my car got flat tire, I was fucked. So like, it was cell phones. No, I would not want to get rid of cell phones. They're such a double-edged sword, though. The tracking mechanism.
That's why I thought of it, because like the what I thought of for social reasons, right? If we didn't have cell phones, I feel like people would interact with each other more in person. Was more the direction I was going with it. But yeah, like you said, it's a double-edged sword because obviously crime rates, murder rates, every single statistic for crime and emergency services go down when you include cellular devices.
But so, I'm thinking of a lot of the ways I use it, and I think I would be fine without it. I'm like, yeah, how would we lay in bed and watch Instagram for 2 hours if I didn't have a cell phone? I'm like, why the fuck am I doing that with my life?
Yeah, wait.
That's not good. And honestly, other than tactics, like tactical usage, maps,
emergencies,
coordination, communication.
Yeah, that's why I said that was the first thing that I thought of for the technology, because I feel like we can make another technology for the things we actually need phones for. All this social media crap, we don't need it. It's fine. You can wait till you get home to your computer to go on the internet.
Yeah, I think being able to say anything to anybody at any time, to contact anybody at any time, is invaluable. And
yeah,
it's almost as if the cell phone and the internet has given us an opportunity to solve the problem that we're at, but it created so many new problems that now those are obfuscating that original problem we're supposed to solve, which is the diplomatic communication. We're supposed to have our leaders communicating. We're supposed to have Zelensky and Putin and Trump on a fucking Zoom call, a public Zoom call. We're supposed to be doing this constantly, is diplomatic communications with our leadership across the planet. And since other problems have now come in and people trying to create this culture war and blow your mind with fake information, I think the point of that diplomatic community has been slightly obfuscated.